So I want to welcome everyone to our open house tonight. This has been a event coming. Almost every member of our club participated in some way, shape, or form in order to get this thing rolling and bring it to fruition. So first of all, I want to thank everybody for giving their all, because it takes more than just one person. One person can't do it, but a team of individuals do it. And that's something that Toastmasters believe in, is teamwork. It's not a thing where you just come in, you become a member, and you sit down and you begin to go through the 21st century educational system. No, you have people that work with you so that you're able to meet your goals. So when I think of an open house, I think of it, as an invitation, but better yet, it's also a door that opens to endless possibilities. It all depends on what you want from Toastmasters. And believe me, Toastmasters has been around for exactly, I think, 100 years today. And so we've got it down pat. We've tweaked this thing. If it isn't right now, you don't belong on the planet. So think about that moment when you decide whether or not to join Toastmasters. Did you know that when people go to a gym, and they go in and they check it out, they go, all right, this is great. I like this. And they try some of the weights, and maybe do a little squats here and there. They like it. And then the big question comes up. Join. If an individual walks out without joining that gym, 99% chance they're not coming back. So think of this open house as a door that's opening to endless possibilities, allowing you to select whatever your dream may be.
And Elton, this would probably be a good time to screen share the video that we want to play. Would that be okay?
What happened to the video?
Well, that's what I'm asking. I want to do it now.
Go right ahead.
Okay, thank you. Hang on, folks. I'm just going to screen share a video that got released today about the 100th anniversary of Toastmasters. So, just.
Oh, is that what you wanted to do? Yeah. Oh my God. Okay. So, can we have our grammarian?
Hang on.
Explain.
I want to do the video now, Elton, before we do the rest of the meeting stuff. Is that okay?
Okay.
Okay.
I suggested a club in which they could learn to talk by talking, they welcomed the idea. It's gratifying for our development through the years to know that the group has been the result of a number of people who improve themselves in communication.
It shows you how to express yourself clearly and effectively.
It's the learning opportunity for communication and leadership skills in the world.
Oh, we have somebody.
We avoided the atmosphere of the classroom, and we learned in moments of enjoyment.
It all starts and ends at your club. This is your family.
The purpose of Toastmasters is to help all its members help themselves.
The tried and tested method. And Dr. Smedley figured it out long ago. He's quite a visionary, and he wanted to help people. And that's all it was.
The greatest leaders of history have been people who are dedicated to doing their best to help others.
It is where leaders are made. And that's our philosophy.
I believe we transform lives every single day.
Because you find gifts and talents within yourself you never knew were there.
Toastmasters put him on his feet and taught him how to speak with confidence. There is comfort in the thought that today there are thousands of Toastmasters who are a part of a great international movement.
It's the next 100 years that we should be concentrating on, as Dr. Smedley would have desired us to do. And so I think we're living his dream.
I'm grateful for Dr. Ralph Smedley and his commitment because it's a great legacy to carry forward.
So, thank you so much, Bruce, for the impromptu video. And Yukta, can you tell us what the role of the grammarian is?
Good evening, everyone. I'm Yukta, and I'm going to be the grammarian for this evening. Now, what does a grammarian do? Like the name suggests, a grammarian is going to look at the grammar, ensure that people are using the right grammar, and come back with the report towards the end of the day. But the grammarian also shares something that is called the word of the day. So what's the word of the day today? It's ameliorate. Ameliorate. A-M-E-L-I-O-R-A-T-E. A-M-E-L-I-O-R-A-T-E. Ameliorate. It's a verb. It means to improve, to make something better. An example in a sentence would be millions of people over the 100 years of Toastmasters have joined to ameliorate themselves, and it has worked. I'll come back at the end of the evening with my report when the general evaluators calls me.
Thank you very much. And is our timer available? And there he is.
Yes.
Adrian, can you tell us what the role of the timer entails?
Yeah, sure. Greetings, fellow Toastmasters and guests. As timer, I will time the table topic speeches, formal speeches, and the evaluations. I will also alert each speaker of the time they have left using the green, yellow, and red cards, which denote specific times remaining. Table topic speakers should limit their remarks to no more than 2 minutes. At 1 minute, I will raise the green card, and at 1 minute and 30 seconds, I will raise the yellow card, and at 2 minutes, I will raise the red card. Those giving speeches should limit their remarks to their specified speech times. All right, thank you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you very much. And I skipped over one of the roles, which is the off counter. And the off counter, the purpose is to note words and sounds that are used as crutch or pause filler, like, and, what, so, because. Any of these words that you use to link your thoughts together can be considered crutch words. And at the end of the meeting, we will give a report based on the number of crutch words that are used per Toastmaster and or guest. I would now like to introduce Ken Weinberg, who is going to chair the fun part of the meeting. Something I really enjoy. I never win, but I enjoy it anyway. Mr. Weinberg.
Healthy refers to I never win. That means that there's a contest in this section of the meeting. We're going to practice impromptu speaking, and then after the period of time that we have for table topics is over, we're going to vote for who gave the best table topic. I've prepared 5 table topics based on tonight's theme, which happens to be the Toastmasters 100-year birthday. And I would love to invite at least 5 of you, or at most 5 of you up one at a time, to give a speech on this topic. So who would like to be the first speaker? Demonstrate how table topics works. Anyone in the room? Anyone volunteer? Do you want to volunteer? All right. Come on up. Dave, now the camera might not see you unless you're about a foot taller. How do we do this? Should I crank this down? Is here? Okay. All right, so here's your topic. Will Toastmasters still be here in 100 years? Why or why not?
I would hope yes. I cannot foresee 100 years from now Toastmaster progressing, but I would hope not, because communication is a key to success in life. At least for me, I came from a culture where my people really don't communicate as much. When I came to Toastmaster, I started working. When I came to Canada, I started working and I was forced to communicate. But I was shaky, a little bit shaky, a lot shaky, and incredibly nervous. I couldn't utter words or proper sentences in a way that people understand. So all I heard was, huh? What do you mean? Can you repeat that? That was super awkward for me. I wanted to eliminate it. So I hope to continue on communicating with people without being asked, what do you mean? Communication helped me out through my life. So I would hope in 100 years from now, people continue communicating, because it's a success, it creates success, but it's also, in a way, a surviving skill.
Would anyone like to speak next online, perhaps? All right, I can't see who's raising their hand, so can someone help me?
Mehran has raised his hand.
Larry was first, and then Karami. And then,
so that would be Larry first?
Larry first, yes, please.
Okay, Larry. I have your topic here. Which one's Larry? Hi, Larry. I see this great big hand in the lens. I'm not sure. All right, Larry. Even though artificial intelligence can write speeches and robots can sound like humans, why will Toastmasters still exist in 100 years?
Authenticity. I was working at Global News, and my coworker from Romania asked if I would accompany her to a Toastmasters meeting. And I didn't know what that was, but she wanted to improve her English. So we went to a lunchtime meeting, and I was intrigued. And then the table topics came, and I told them about eating French fries and gravy in high school, and they all laughed. And I thought, this is great. Here is a simple story from my childhood, and yet people can relate. And I felt the warmth, the camaraderie, and the authenticity of this group that was around me. And I had to find out more. And that night I went home, searched around, and I found my home club. This was in 2015. And I've been with Toastmasters on and off ever since. And I have found those same qualities at every club that I've been to that I first found in that club with my friend who continued on to learn her English and became very proficient. So this is why Toastmasters will be around for 100 years and will destroy the robots. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
That's right. All right, Bruce, who's on deck? Or actually, who's up to bat?
Yeah, Kurumi. I'll put
Peroni?
her on. Yeah.
Kurumi.
Oh, Peroni. Okay. Peroni. The date is October 22nd, 1924. Put yourself in the shoes of Dr. Ralph Smedley, the founder of Toastmasters International. What opening remarks will you say to the first ever Toastmasters meeting?
Could you please repeat the question? Thank you.
Sure. The date is 1924, 100 years ago today, and you are the founder of Toastmasters International, Dr. Ralph Smedley. You are opening the meeting. I want you to pretend you're Dr. Smedley, and I want you to give us a short speech. What will you say?
Thank you very much for your question. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. I'm the founder of Toastmasters Club. Now we are going to open our new world. Why? To ameliorate ourselves significantly. We need to have better communication. We need to be a creator. We need to have good community in the world. All over the world, we have wars and conflicts among races and genders and the state of the jobs. However, we shouldn't do that. We should stop it. We need to ameliorate ourselves. So let's start new world and start communicate among ourselves. Welcome to our new world, Toastmasters Club. Thank you very much, everyone. That is my commemoration, my speech.
That was great. You can't see it, but all my hairs on my arm are standing on end. I've got goosebumps. I felt like I was there 100 years ago today. All right, so we have time for one or two more.
Yes, and we had Mehran. Mehran raised his hand. Mehran, are you ready to go?
All right, so who's next?
Please unmute yourself, Mehran.
His name's Miran?
There you go. Yep, that's it.
Okay, Miran, I have your topic here. If you were creating a time capsule to commemorate Toastmasters' 100th birthday, to be opened in 100 years from now, what would you include in the time capsule and why?
I would include broad-minded thinking and the fact that you guys are almost all over the board, which is very good, and my congratulations. I don't know why Toastmasters is not in Iran, but I hope one day it will be. And earlier I said that my main interest is global issues, but it is not my only interest. I like to congratulate you guys. My initial feeling about this group is positive. And I think that I'm going to fit in, you know.
I think you're
That's
done.
all.
There we go. Congratulations, you've taken the first step. We have all done just what you've done, spoken at a Toastmasters meeting for the first time. And I have one more topic here. Who would like to be the volunteer? Anyone in the room? Okay, come on up. All right, we're going to use your outside voice. Fill the room, okay? You have a soft voice. Now let's hear your powerful voice. So here's the question for you. What will be your legacy? Something people will credit you with 100 years from now. It might be something you've already done, or it might be something you haven't done yet. But what will we talk about when we talk about you in 100 years? Oh my God, it's interesting. Think big.
Well, good evening to my dearest fellow Toastmasters and guests of this evening. Our table topics master gave me one interesting question on what would you leave to this world of your legacy so they can remember you over 100 years or next couple of decades. So definitely this world needs a kind of safety, peaceful, and related to health. So my always reasons were give as much as I can to the humanity in terms of health and education. So as we see and as we are present in this Toastmasters Club, this is also part of education actually. So why we remember the CEO or the founder of Toastmasters, because of him, we are right now meeting together here and gathering some new insights on how we can improve our communication and how we can enhance our skills in the public speaking. So that is how I also trying to make some new establishments in terms of universities, foundations, or creating new hospitals where it is really required, and the transportation system if it is not there, and create a number of policies in the banking system if it is going down the economy in the countries. So overall, things that are matters to the world. I think the words I'm saying is feel like a politician or a prime minister, but I'm not able to become one right now. But I'll give as much as I can. And thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you. You have to think big if you want to be big. Congratulations. Well, that takes us to the end of our table topic session. And you now have the opportunity to select who you felt gave the best table topic. We had 5 speakers today. And I didn't put them down in the right order, but I think Fanar was first. We had Larry, we had Rami. I forget who else we had, but you can number them too if you don't remember their names. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we'll collect the votes from the people in the room on paper, and Elton will collect the votes from the people who are online through the chat. We'll add them up, and I will be back later in the meeting to announce the winner of the Table Topics contest from this club's celebratory 100th anniversary of Toastmasters meeting. Yeah, Toastmasters, you know, I started Toastmasters 32 years ago, and I just wanted to get over my nervousness, and I didn't know where it would take me. So if you're just beginning your Toastmasters journey, hang on tight, because it's going to be a great ride. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Ken, Mr. Table Topics Master, for your enjoyable Table Topics portion of the meeting. And we're now going to have our first speaker for tonight, our keynote speaker tonight, and his name is Samit, and will have his introduction given to us by Bibi.
Thank you so much, Alton. Tonight, we are truly and truly honored to have Sunit to give us this presentation that he has titled, Honesty is the Foundation to Personal Success. I truly feel he believes in it, and I will read his introduction in a minute to you. It begins this way. Honesty is the most important virtue for personal success and professional success. Our business leaders, teachers, and national leaders all expose the importance of honesty. Through this speech, Sunit shares his experiences and some principles that can help us for personal and professional growth. Today, Sunit will be speaking for 11 to 13 minutes. It's an educational presentation. Sunit is currently working on his path dynamic leadership. Mr. Timer, so could you please time Sunit green at 11, yellow at 12, and red at 13 minutes? It would ensure that Sunit can effectively manage his presentation. Without further ado, please help me welcome our guest speaker today to this open house, telling us about his experience because he would like to ameliorate his speech to the next level. Please help me welcome Sunit as he presents. Honesty is the foundation to personal success. Honesty is the foundation to personal success. Sunit, the virtual floor is all yours.
Thanks, Bibi. Bibi, before I get into my speech, I just want to make two comments. The first one, you said, this club was all about young people and hip people. Unfortunately, I'm neither. So you have my apologies. The second thing is, I'm so happy this club chose the topic theme of 100 years, because 100 years is a point of, reflection. And that's what my speech is all about. I request all of you, to keep an open mind. And because some of the topics that I'm going to talk about will make you, think and reflect. So without further ado, let me start by asking a question. Raise your hand if you believe honesty, ethics, and sincerity are the key to personal success. So almost everyone. Right? As I look at this room, I see a group of very sincere and honest individuals. And it breaks my heart. It really breaks my heart. Because see, I'm very sorry to be the one to break you, but all of you have been misinformed and lied to. Because honesty is not the best policy. Friends, I'm here to tell you that dishonesty and effective lying are the key to personal success, professional success, and even national growth. I know getting to hear this all as adults is a lot to take in, but I'll share with you certain statistics, facts that can help ameliorate this pain. So just bear with me. Now, some of you may be wondering, well, why should we believe this guy? For who knows, he might just all be lying. He sounds sincere, looks sincere, and has a sincere smile on his face. But don't go by the smile. This has taken years and years of lying and deception to develop this smile. And I can teach you to develop this smile. All it takes is a bit of practice. I can assure you that I have the professional and personal credentials to teach you the principles of effective lying, which will boost your personal and professional growth. So I've worked in corporate and business world all my life. Raise your hand if you believe airlines, hotels, insurance companies, mortgage companies, credit card companies offer you honest pricing. Anyone? No, none of you. So all of you agree they charge you dishonest pricing, fraudulent activities. I've spent all my life in these companies and I've been trained by the best in the most dishonest of practices. And so I am here to happily share these with you. But more than my professional work experience is my personal experience. You see, I've been married for a very long time, and effective lying is the foundation to a marriage. And I can already see some of the seasoned members smiling and acknowledging this fact. But for others who may not know this, let me elaborate with a small example. Sometime in marriage, a seemingly simple question will be asked, a harmless question, innocuous question. But rest assured, these are the 5 most dangerous words ever spoken in the history of mankind. And these words are, honey, am I looking fat? And I dare you to give an honest answer. My friends, the results will be catastrophic if you give an honest answer to this question. I made the mistake once and barely lived to survive the tale. In marriage, whether it's the topic of discussion is what your partner has prepared, or clothing, or a discussion around waist sizes, honesty is not the best policy. Dishonesty is the best policy. And you have to learn the principles of effective lying to be successful. So we talked about how dishonesty and learning the principles of effective lying are so important for personal life. But I also talked about national growth. And some of you may be wondering, what the hell is he talking about? So let me elaborate with some statistics. By the way, all of these statistics are from World Bank. I've not made them up. You can go to worldbank.org, you can download all these statistics. So what does the World Bank say? According to World Bank, Canada's growth rate is 1% expected for the next 4 to 5 years. What a 1% growth rate means is we are not moving the needle. So you're going to see the same traffic jams. You're going to see the same sorry state of police, the same sorry state of hospitals, and you're going to see pathetic economic growth. That's what 1% economic growth means. But on an honesty index, we are ranked 10th, which means we are one of the most honest nations on earth. Now, if you look at China, China has a growth rate of 5 to 6%, which is 5 to 6 times that of Canada. And China is ranked 60th on the honesty index, which means there are pretty dishonest people. And if you look at the fastest growing economy in the world, India is expected to grow at 7 to 8%, which is 7 to 8 times the growth rate of Canada, crushing the growth rate of Canada. And India is ranked at 80th. So very dishonest people. So the correlation is very clear for all you statisticians. Canada at almost 0% growth rate, but very honest. India, exceedingly high, trailblazing growth rate, but very dishonest people. So the choice is yours. Do you want to continue with the sorry state of hospitals, poor social services, poor medical facilities, or you have a choice to learn the principles of effective lying, to learn how to be more dishonest, to go into your community, tell lies, and turbocharge economic growth rate. This is yours. So what are these principles of effective lying that I'm talking about? There are 3 main principles. The first principle is you have to lie big. So small lies won't work. Lie big or go home. And I'll give you a few examples to illustrate it. Now, Bill Clinton, everybody knows, was the president of the United States and one of the most powerful men in the world. Bill Clinton was, lied under oath, which is a huge, huge lie. It was a criminal offense, and he was almost going to jail. But when Bill Clinton left office, he was voted as one of the most lovable presidents ever in the history of United States. What is the moral of the story? You can tell the biggest lie of your life and people still love you. They don't care about the big lie. If you look at the business world, Martha Stewart was feted by Wall Street Journal, by Forbes, by Fortune as a trailblazing economic woman, businesswoman, Martha this, Martha that. What did Martha Stewart do? She told a big lie. She committed a financial fraud of millions of dollars. She went to jail, came back, had a very successful podcast and a very successful radio host. And she was very happy. Again, what does that tell you? Fly big or go home. And then who can forget the Kardashians? All of us love to hate the Kardashians. We all know all their posts on Facebook, Instagram, they're all fake. They're not authentic. But millions of us watch with bated breath to watch each of their posts. So the first principle is lie big or go home. The second principle is you have to lie consistently. So one lie here, one lie there, that won't work. No. That's not what we want. You won't have any success. Baby, you have to get up every morning. You have to write on your wall that I'm going to tell 10 lies every day. It is only with this level of commitment that you can become an exceptional liar. And at night, you have to cross off that, yes, I said 10 lies. Now I have a confession to make. You see, I've never had a man crush in my life, but I've been totally awed by this, awesome personality. And the guy I'm talking about is Donald Trump. So Donald Trump, in his presidency, told 30,000 lies. So in 5 years, that's 6,000 lies every year. Donald doesn't care about GDP data, IMF data. Donald says what he wants to say. Donald does what he wants to do. And that is what we want. Bruce, if you want to be an exceptional liar, you have to just get up every day and say what you want to say. You do what you want to do. Don't listen to anything. Don't worry about facts. We can always say you are misquoted. And that is the spirit by which you become an exceptional liar. So the moral of the story there is no if, no but, only Donald Trump. Now the third principle is you have to be an honest liar. And I'll share a personal example. Now, when I was looking for a job about 3 years back, and I was being very honest. They asked me, have you done this role before? And I would say, not really. And I was not being successful. So I was very, very worried. What's happening? And then it struck me that I have to be an honest liar. So for my current role, they asked me the same question. Have you done this role before? And I said, yes, absolutely. What I did not tell them was, I hated that job. I was not even good at it. So you see, you have to be an honest liar. So the three main principles of effective lying are, first, lie big or go home. Second, you have to lie consistently. You have to aim for at least 10 lies every day, and only then you can be successful. And the third and most important is you have to be an honest liar. Now I can see that some of you are very eager. You can see in your eyes, you're very eager to learn more about these principles. And you're in luck because you see, I'm offering a course, a 30-day course, only $200. And I'll teach you these principles in detail. You know how we have DTM in Toastmasters? Distinguished Toastmasters? Now, Bruce tells me DTM is a pain, right? You have to do speech craft, you have to do this, give speeches, pathways, a lot of work. No. We don't have that much time. What I offer you is DTLC. DTLC will change your life. Distinguished to lie consistently. We'll teach you how to lie 30,000 lies. Bruce, I know you want to settle abroad, and getting visas, passports is a big pain. Don't worry. We'll give you the tools to commit immigration fraud, so you can settle very comfortably wherever you want to. Larry, I know you're very social media shy. You're not on Instagram, Facebook. Don't worry at all. We'll teach you how to create fake and fraudulent profiles on Instagram and Facebook, so you can track the Kardashians anonymously and enjoy those posts. And Elton, my dear friend Elton, I know you're a very honest man, and you get anxious if you have to lie. Don't worry. We'll teach you breathing techniques. And you can speak lies without getting flustered. You will sleep very peacefully. We'll also teach you meditation techniques. So we have something for everyone. Raise your hand if you would like to purchase this course. 30 days, only $200. So I see Bruce is very interested in one or more two individuals. So I'm very happy, Bruce, that you're invested in your personal growth. For those that did not raise their hands, I also congratulate you because you've learned the first principle of effective lying, which is how to spot a master liar. Just imagine, if I can teach you so much in 10 minutes, how much I can teach you in 30 days. Go ahead and buy this course. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Suneet, for your entertaining presentation this evening. And may we have 1 minute on the clock so that Bibi can complete her evaluation. And if any of you would like to pass on your thoughts to Suneet, please let me know and I can give you his contact information, at least his WhatsApp, and you can send him your positive thoughts. Oh, look, there's Michelle. Thank you very much, Mr. Timer. And our next speaker is Andrew, and we're going to have Bruce provide the introduction and the objectives for his presentation.
Thank you, TM Melton, fellow Toastmaster friends, new guests, and valued members of the club here. Andrew is going to give us speaking to us from, let's bring it up here, from the Visionary Communication Path, level 3, project number 12, which is an elective called Inspire Your Audience. With that, I'm just flipping around a few things here. Okay. The purpose statement of Andrew's project is, the purpose of this project is for the member to practice writing and delivering a speech that inspires others. Sounds simple, right? The purpose of the speech is for the member to inspire the audience. Basically says the same thing. Pretty simple, right? It's not. Andrew is, his speech introduction, when faced with, widening it here. When faced with an unexpected challenge, knowing how to react makes the difference. Our timing, the speech timing, Mr. Timer, is 5 to 7 minutes, the standard 5, 6, 7, green, yellow, red. Please welcome our next speaker, Andrew Varden. Against the current, Andrew Varden.
Fellow Toastmasters, and most welcome guests, both in person and online. What I'm going to tell you today could save your life. It's information I wish I knew before I got myself into a very precarious situation. This happened several years ago, way back in university. A friend invited a few of us out to Nova Scotia, to her dad's place there, so we could enjoy the lovely, charming eastern half of Canada. So a few of us went over there, and just like today, it was a beautiful, bright, sunny day. Except it was August, so it was even hotter. And we thought, what better to do than head out to the beach? So we hopped in the car, drove to the beach, got there, and it was foggy and it was cold. And it was my first introduction that this part of the country might be a little bit different from what I was used to in Toronto. But we had wetsuits, and we also had boogie boards. So we went to go and play in the waves. Now, for those of you who are not familiar, boogie boards or bodyboards are kind of like surfboards, but instead of being really big, they're pretty small. They're short little boards, and you just kind of lie on them. You lie on your stomach, and you catch these short little waves near the shore. So that's what we were doing. Catching these little waves, only about in waist-high water, and enjoying ourselves. Now, my friend Ted, he had a great, brilliant idea that he was just going to float on his board and relax for a second. And it looked so nice and peaceful. I decided to just float in my board and relax as well. For a few minutes of just bobbing in the water, I heard a voice. Andrew, get up now. It was Ted. Ted, who had just been floating beside me, was now standing way in front of me. The current had taken us far from shore. Ted, who's 6'4", had water up to his neck. And there I was, trying to touch the ground, I couldn't. Trying to paddle as fast as I could with my arms, kicking my legs furiously, and getting no closer to Ted. Behind me, it was just water. I thought, there's nothing really between me and the rest of the ocean. Is anyone going to come out and save me? Is anyone going to see me bobbing out there? I was terrified. I didn't know what to do. I thought for a second, should I get rid of this board? Is it just pulling me further away? I thought, no, at least I'm something to float on. And luckily, in my indecision, I eventually got out of this current and was carried by a little wave closer in where I could stand and walk back into shore. Now, as Ted and I returned to the beach, our friend who had invited us over there, Sarah, she said, hey guys, you were really far out there. I was getting a bit worried. This beach is kind of dangerous. There's no lifeguards around because it's too dangerous even for them. You should stay close to shore. People drown here every year. And I thought, thanks, Sarah. We'd have loved to get this information before we got in the water. I was, of course, relieved. I also thought, what am I supposed to do in this situation? And it turns out this is something that happens to thousands of people every year. And actually hundreds of people globally end up dying because they end up swimming so hard, panicking, that they get tired out, and that's when they drown. So the first lesson, if you're ever caught in a rip current, is to stay calm. Stay calm, and then put your hand up and let people know that you're in a bit of trouble. Now, there's two different ways of getting out of a rip current. One way is to swim not into it, but perpendicular to it. Usually these are just narrow channels of water pulling people away from the shore. As all the waves rush in, they need an outlet to shoot back out. So by swimming parallel to this current, you can get out of that water rushing back, and you can find waves pushing you back into shore. The other thing you can do is just float. Amazingly, these are really just conveyor belt systems that take you out but bring you back in. And most of the time, you can get back into shore within 6 minutes. So sometimes just sitting back and floating can be the best thing you can do. This advice can get you out of a dangerous situation on the beach, but can also help you when you're faced with lots of pressure and forces coming at you in life. If you're pushing harder and harder and harder to do something, and you're just getting further and further away from your goals, then stop. Don't keep doing that thing. We really try to tell people in life, just try harder, just give it your all, just give it your best. But sometimes the best thing you can do is try something different. Reassess your situation. Because you don't know, the forces of life just might take you where you want to go in a different pathway. So whatever you're doing in life, when you're faced with tough forces pushing you away from your goals, remember, relax. Don't panic. Assess your situation, and instead of pushing against the currents in life, use the currents to take you where you want to go. It's Toastmaster.
So can we have 1 minute on the, Mr. Time, can we have 1 minute on the clock so that Bruce can complete his evaluation?
Excuse me, where can I send a personal comment on his message? His
Through
in-person meeting.
Yeah, through in chat, send it directly to the Toronto Liberty Villages Village Speakers account.
Okay, thank you very much. What is the speaker's name again, please?
Andrew.
Andrew.
Yes.
Andrew. Okay, thank you.
Welcome. Elton, you and I had talked about inserting a 10-minute Q&A period. Did session? Are we doing that
Yes.
now?
Yes.
Okay.
I think this will be a good time for the folks online to maybe get a quick chat in, and the same with us here in-house. We get an opportunity to, at least in here, we get an opportunity to get something nice and cold to drink, and also some potato chips and popcorn. See what happens when you don't come in-house?
So unfortunately, Elton, both BB and I are evaluators, so we're kind of wanting time to do up our evaluation forms. Is there?
Okay, so why don't you go? Okay, so all right, so we'll do this. You guys go off and you do your form. I think we have enough people here that can handle our guests. I will get online and I will talk to the individuals, our guests, and I will create a a breakout room so that I can move them in one at a time, so that I can have an opportunity to talk to them for 1 minute to just to make sure that they feel welcome. How's that?
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, so let the games begin now. So at this point, we're going to take the 10 minutes, and we're going to chat. We're going to talk about the value and the benefits of Toastmasters. Okay. That's what we're going to talk about. So if any of you, okay, so that would be Miram? Miram? Is that right? You're not a Toastmaster, correct? And I think everyone else online is a Toastmaster. Is that right?
Or I'll just answer. Mayran, you're muted, so we can't hear what you're saying. And he
That's
has
okay.
been a Toastmaster in the past.
Okay, so I will move him into a breakout room, and I'm going to leave Yuka to chat with our guest and say hello and offer them popcorn.
Thank you. Oh, wow, and the camera doesn't like me. Hi. All right. My journey with Toastmasters goes back 11 or 12 years. And I started with a club very, very reluctantly. Because for those of you who know me, I've been into leadership development forever. I think that's something that I have been doing for ages. And you wake me up and ask me to do something, leadership development would be the easiest thing to do. Coaching, training, and I absolutely love doing that. So I've always had a group of leaders whom I've coached when they become new leaders and they've got to present to CXOs. And I've always coached them to stand in front of groups and speak. And then I joined this job where I was told that anybody who's a part of the leadership development team must be a part of Toastmasters. And I was like, I don't like that. Because I train people on communications and you want me to sit and learn how to communicate. It doesn't work that way. But then when I joined Toastmasters, I went back again and again because it was not just communication that I was learning there. Of course, I think as a speaker, in spite of being in the field of communications and leadership, I have learned so much through Toastmasters. And that has brought me where I am today. I was the most boring person in any party. If you throw a party and you have 30 people in the room, I would be sitting right in the corner with my drinks, not talking to anybody, not making an eye contact, only out of fear that somebody would want to talk to me. From there, I've gone on to become a person who can now host sessions, and I host events with 165 people every 3 months at my work. And then people come back and they are like, wow, you're so much fun to listen to. 10 years ago, nobody would have said I'm fun. But all of that has come through Toastmasters because there are tracks, there are humorous speaking tracks, there are presentation tracks, there are research-based tracks where you learn how to research and present data. So irrespective of what you do, you have something in Toastmasters that can help you improve your communication and of course the ample leadership experience that you get. Because once you join Toastmasters, you have opportunities to be club leaders. You lead a club, you lead projects, you lead strategies, you lead people. Then you move on from the club. We have our area director sitting here with us today. So he has experience of leading 5 clubs like ours. And that's how you become an area director and you start leading more leaders. So leaders leading people, leaders leading leaders. And then you keep growing and you keep networking. 10, 11, 12 years later, I can say I have at least one friend in almost every country in the world. And that's all because of Toastmasters. 1, because I've met people through Toastmasters, and 2, because I've started connecting with people wherever I meet them. So that's the power of Toastmasters, and that's the magic it can create. I have learned so much in so many years, and I'm sure anybody who's a part of Toastmasters will have that kind of experience. And with this, who do I pass it to? Anvish, would you like to share your experience with Toastmasters?
I would say I started Toastmasters much like Yuka, but I wanted to join Toastmasters because I have seen the massive change that Toastmasters bring. I joined around 2.5 years ago. By that time, I had too many filler words that Elton wouldn't be sitting free without counting how many filler words I have. But now I at least think I can complete a meeting without an and or a, excluding this one that I just did. And not just how I present, I can translate that back at my work as well, that I am able to present my ideas, my thoughts in a more coherent manner. But with Toastmasters, I got an opportunity to push myself further. So at the district level, which includes this club and many other clubs which form an area, and then many of those areas form a division, and then 6 of those divisions is what the District 60, which is entire downtown Toronto, is part of, is what I am working with. So I lead the PR efforts of District 60, which makes me the front face of any social media handle that you tag or you see District 60 engaging with. So I make sure that anyone who wants to know about Toastmasters, is in downtown Toronto, is in one of the District 60's club, they know and they are engaged with. And that got me to learn how social media works, how you can brand yourself on social media. So it's not just presentation that Toastmasters bring, but also all these additional skills that you can learn from being a part of a Toastmaster. Do we have any questions from any of our guests though? Need any question or any question online? Yes, I think we have a question. You can go ahead, unmute yourself and ask your question. Mehran? Yeah, you're on mute right now.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
How much it costs to join your club?
Sorry, could you? Oh, yes.
Phoebe would be the best person.
Yeah. So we have our club leaders. Bibi, would you be able to answer that?
Thank
The
you
membership.
so much, Mehran. Currently, it costs $120 to join this club for every 6 months. Canadian.
All right, thank you.
Canadian dollars. You're a previous Toastmaster, so you don't need to pay the one-time fee to be a Toastmaster. But because this club, we meet in person and virtual, and we do have to pay costs for rental, our current pricing is $120 every 6 months. Therefore, you're looking at $240 annually.
So how much it will cost me to join the club?
Yes, I just told you, $120 every 6 months Canadian, it would cost you to join the club.
All right, thank you.
You are very welcome.
Thanks, Bibi. And before we move on to our meeting, I would like to invite our area director, Frankie, for any more words for our open house.
Thank you, everybody. Welcome guests and fellow Toastmaster. There's a lot of things to learn in life, and sometimes we don't have enough time to learn every one of it. I can tell you that some of the things I want to learn, I never get to learn. And one of the things is I wish I knew Toastmasters a little sooner than I anticipated. You see, along my journey, I had a really good education. You know, I was a game developer, I was a programmer. I had a lot of opportunities to learn about different types of investments, stock market, real estate, a lot of different things along the way. And then when I went out to the real world, I made a lot of money myself, doing a regular job like the rest of you. But there's one thing I did not anticipate, is that there's a stagnant level of your occupation. You will hit a certain glass ceiling, is what they call it. And I hit that glass ceiling for only one reason. I was not able to speak. And that set off an event that made me very depressed. I thought to myself, man, the real world is really tough. I got an A in school, made a lot of money, but I still failed in life. And what purpose is there for my education? So I took life a little bit more seriously. I started thinking about how to communicate better with other people. Then I started to think back, wow, throughout the whole entire human civilization, there's only one skill that is universal across all boards, and that is me communicating to you, networking, communing with other people. And that is when I decided to join Toastmasters, when I finally decided, you know what? I was at an age where I find no way out. I thought that I knew everything, but I didn't. So I joined Toastmaster for the first time, overcoming my fear of public speaking so that I can reconnect with other people. And ever since then, I never regret it. And I thought to myself, wow, what a life-transforming experience. A lot of the benefits that I gained in Toastmasters has to do with, networking with people, how to stand up into front of people, how to resolve conflicts. It's like you just said, you become a leader and you get to lead other people and you get to inspire other people to do the same thing as you did. But without Toastmasters, I wouldn't have been able to be the person who I've been today. Yes, we have a good education. Yes, spend a lot of money on it. But none of those money can replace what public speaking can do for us. And that one skill can make me infinite amounts of money and infinite amounts of happiness and infinite amounts of peace within us. So if anybody's hesitating to join Toastmasters, think about this one universal truth. 100 years from now, who would you have? What would you have? If all around the world is destroyed, what would be the one thing that would bring civilization back together? It's me, you, communicating with others, and share the peace and love with everyone. And that comes through with our mouth, through speaking with one another. Toastmasters.
Thank you, Frankie. This club specially has the unique gift of experience. Members with 10, 20, 30 years of experience. That's the kind of mentorship that you can get as a part of this club. And that's the kind of feedback and evaluation, which is the most important part of improvement. Because you can speak as much as you like, but if you do not get the right evaluation, how do you grow? And with that, we move into the evaluation section. And I call Elton back to take this forward with evaluations for the speakers today.
Thank you very much, Yutha. I always say her name wrong. So sorry. This is the power of Toastmasters right here, is the evaluation portion. I don't know about you, but I remember trying to learn how to tie my shoes. I would try and try and try. I couldn't seem to do it. My mom would show me again and again and again. And then finally, lo and behold, I was able to do it. And that's what happens here. Through effective evaluations, positive evaluations, that leads to growth, allows us to become the better speakers and leaders that we desire, our own personal goal. So at this point, we're going to have our first evaluator. Our general evaluator will now take the portion of the meeting starting now and provide us with the power that we need in order to be better speakers and leaders.
Thank you, Elton. At this time, I would like to introduce evaluator number 1, Bibi. She will evaluate Sunit's speech.
Fellow Toastmasters, most welcome guests, and especially you, Suni. I am truly honored to be your evaluator for your keynote speech. I'm honored in a way that I have noticed that you have indeed ameliorated yourself in this speech, given it's the second time you are presenting it that I have listened to it. That said, I'm going to evaluate you in 3 categories on what I liked, offer you some gifts in 3 categories: your organization, your delivery, and your message to us. So let's start with what I like. First of all, in your organization, you could not have done a better job of organizing this speech. You hit it right on the nail. You used the power of tree with your 3 principle: lie big, lie successfully, and honest liar. You hit it. And then you gave us a really good, engaging introduction. It was engaging introduction, whereby you engage the audience by asking questions. I really like that part of your speech where you challenged us with this question and asked us to have an open mind, because it is an intriguing subject the way you presented it. And now I'm going to give you that gift in your organization. My gift to you would be your speech title, because it was so intriguing. It was so out of the box. I was thinking, is that really what is going to get me listening or get me going, understanding it? I would have liked to see a topic like, is it what it is? Is it what it is? Something that would really interest me. Now I would like to move on to your delivery. Sunit, I can say you deliver this speech with such sincerity, with such clarity, with such enthusiasm that I can honestly say you will make an excellent scammer. If you try to scam me, you've got me right there. In your delivery, you interjected humor. I could see the humor in this. I really enjoyed it. I had to listen twice. Gosh, this speech is really interesting. Should I believe every word he says, or should I take it with a grain of salt? My gosh, he was so convincing. I am sure you will all agree with me. He was excellent convincing. His vocal variety, his facial impression, it was so convincing that I really, really found it very effective. And now let me speak about some gifts that I would like to give you. When you spoke about Donald Trump, I would have liked to see you pause a minute and use, because you were not, we couldn't see your hands, but you could face the camera back and forth. Could you have used the camera and change your vocal variety to emphasize your point? Pause a minute, change your camera angle back and forth, and ask a question. Ask the question that, because all of us here, if you ask a question and get us engaged with Donald Trump, I am sure 100% of the audience will be looking to go, what is going to be coming forth from him with respect to Donald Trump? And now the last part in that delivery, your gestures. Even though I couldn't see your gestures, right? I still feel that moving the camera would make up for that. And lastly, your message. Your message to us was basically that lying is the best policy, the way I take it, instead of honesty. We want to grow, we need to lie. We want to do better, we need to lie. Therefore, I felt that when summarizing it, you should have made some impact with that to the effect that said that, yes, honesty, most of us believe is the best policy, but ask yourself, are we always honest in this life? How many of us can actually say 100% of the time we are honest? And with that, I apologize for going over time, and I love to hear your next speech, Sunit. Back to you.
Thank you, Bibi. So now I'd like to introduce Bruce. He is going to evaluate Andrew's speech. The floor is yours, Bruce.
There we go. Sorry, just had to remove the spotlight there. Fellow Toastmaster friends and guests, but especially Andrew there in the in-person audience. Thank you, Andrew, for an amazing speech. I'm going to break it down into the 3 parts that are on the general evaluation form based on the project that you delivered from, which is what he excelled at, what he may want to work on, and what it is that I could possibly mention to challenge himself. First up, we always do the good things first. He had great honorifics, including both audiences, in person and online. Andrew's body language and gestures were done very well, with the boogie boards motion described, vocal variety with being quiet and then loud when called upon, added humor with wanting to know the information before getting in the water would have been preferred, good eye contact into the camera lens for the online audience and to the in-person audience. Facial expressions were appropriate, and pacing and pausing was done very well as in addition to that, which is part of vocal variety. What Andrew may want to work on, he did have some filler words, such as you know, so, and extra ands. The extra ands just create one long sentence. And that pauses are preferred to inject in there as opposed to saying and blah, 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 and blah, 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 etc. The you know phrase or 2 words was mentioned a few times, and the way I look at it is, no, I don't know. So why are you that's why you're telling me. So don't say you know. That's just my personal opinion on that. What the challenge to challenge Andrew, he made that difficult for me. Thanks, Andrew. I saw the camera moving with his movements. In hearing that I just recently said that body language and gestures were done very well, was there perhaps too much of that? Evaluations are one's personal opinion only, so other people may agree with me or may disagree. His body language was indeed done well, but just to have a challenge to offer him, perhaps the hand gestures could be lessened. I'm just trying to be honest and not lie. But overall, it was very well done, Andrew. Thanks for being with us tonight, and I always look forward to seeing you speak. With that speech inspiring us, he is ameliorating very well, and your purpose statement was achieved. Thank you.
Thank you, Bruce. And now I'd like to introduce our grammarian, Yukta. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. What a fabulous meeting we had from a grammarian standpoint as well. Now, word of the day, which is always a little bit of challenge because we are trying to learn a new word. How many people used it? Karumi online, you used it twice in your table topic, and I absolutely loved your table topic, just the way Ken said that he was taken back to the time. I also was taken back in time, even if I wasn't alive at that time. I'm not 100 years old, but then I was taken back to 1924. So thank you. You used the word of the day twice. BB, you spoke twice and you used it once in each of your speeches. You used it once when you were introducing the speaker and then again when you came back with feedback. So you've used it twice. Bruce, at the end, just before you finished your evaluation, you used the word of the day. I'm repeating it. It's ameliorate. AMELIORATE, which means to improve or to make something better. Now, the good usage that we came across today, Larry said warmth, camaraderie, and authenticity. I think the way these words were selected, that was done very well. I don't know if he's still there. Okay. So that I think was great usage. BB, you said you will make an excellent. So you had a series of adjectives and then you said you will make an excellent. And you paused and you said scammer. I think the way you said that, that was fabulous. And Suneet, you said you have to be an honest liar. I absolutely loved that phrase. You have to be an honest liar. Some areas of improvement we needed to have. So this person was talking about the present, but the grammar that was used was we needed to have, which was in past. So we need to use we need to have. Good communicate, good communication, or communicate well. So if you're using it as a noun, it would be good communication. World needs safety, peaceful. So if you're using safety, the other noun would be peace. The world needs safety, peace, and whatever other things. Then there was one usage, one of the most. So this is a very common one. One of the should always be followed by plural because you're talking of one of the group. So one of the successful or one of the most successful men instead of man. And then X years ago. We tend to say X years back, but I've read this at a couple of places that when you're saying years, it has to be ago and not back. But I think with how grammar and language is growing every day, it might be acceptable. If you look at it, I think nowadays everything is acceptable. But as a grammarian, I had to give you what the correct usage was. And with this, I pass it back to the general evaluator, Michelle.
Sorry, you're on mute, Michelle.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Yuta, for a very specific and thorough grammarian report. And now I'd like to call the accounter, Elton, to provide his report. Elton?
So because maybe connectors, when the buffer is empty, we happen to use those words to give us enough time to fill the buffer up so that we're able to continue. It's important that we remember to slow down just a little bit so that the buffer doesn't empty. And if the buffer doesn't empty, then you tend not to have to use filler words. Something that Yuka mentioned earlier, which was pausing, the power of the pause. When you feel that you're getting ready to do that, just stop. And that's a twofer, believe it or not. It's a twofer. One, it stops you from saying a filler word. And you also are able to grab hold of the attention of your audience, especially those that are looking up at the ceiling and they're no longer paying attention. If there's a pause and there's silence, all of a sudden they go, wait, what's going on? So you brought them back into the room, which is extremely important. And I think that's what is meant when we talk about the power of the pause. All in all, we did not have many of these crutch words. The speakers were great. individuals that participated in table topics kind of had them in the beginning when they first started talking. And they're trying to gather their thoughts and how they're going to come up with that beginning, middle, and end. And they slip and they go, and so. But then once they have it together, you know, full steam ahead. So let's just remember to use the power of the pause to make sure that we do not allow ourselves to be caught using those words and then just slowing down just a hair so that the buffer isn't in. And that is my report. And back to you, Madam GE.
Thank you, Elton. Next up is our timer, Adrian. Adrian, please give us your timer's report.
Thank you, Michelle. So overall, we did well as timing goes. The table topics, everyone actually was within the time. So it seemed like everyone has been doing Toastmasters for over 100 years. And in terms of the prepared speeches, Sanit, your time was 50 minutes. Okay, that was a lie. It was actually 13 minutes and 10 seconds. Andrew, you floated by and got to the shore with 7 minutes and 30 seconds. A little bit over, but not too much. In terms of our evaluations, Phoebe, you had a time of 5 minutes and 30 seconds. As I think you were aware, we're a bit over. And Bruce, 2 minutes and 30 seconds within the time. All right. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you, Adrian. So now what I'm going to do is provide an evaluation of the meeting. I did come in late, so I didn't see what happened at the beginning, and I didn't see the table topics. I would like someone to evaluate that at the end if we have time. And also, if you can time me, I believe 2 to 3 minutes. Adrian? Yeah. And so the meeting went very well. The speeches were very interesting. And I'm going to comment on the evaluators. Bibi's evaluation was very well organized, and she mentioned, you know, the categories that she was going to discuss. And she also provided a gift at the end as well in order to for Sanit to improve the next time he gives a speech. And that's the purpose of Toastmasters, to provide, you know, what went well and what you liked about the speech, but also the areas of growth. And Bruce also did the same thing as well in terms of providing, you know, the strengths of Andrew's speech and also gifts. The testimonials were very interesting and very inspiring. And I really enjoyed that. And the grammarian and all counter reports were very specific and thorough as well in terms of, you know, interesting phrases, you know, how many times the word of the day was used, and also areas of improvement too in terms of proper grammar. So overall, the meeting went very well. And I would like to wish everybody a happy 100th Toastmaster years, 100 years of Toastmasters, and a great open house as well. And would anyone like to discuss how it went at the beginning of the meeting and also the table topics portion?
Perhaps Ken could, since he was the table topics master.
Okay.
Ken?
Ken?
A hard-fought
Or
competition
somebody-
a hard-fought competition for tonight's table topics winner, but it was decided by a majority of votes that today our special guest, Kurumi Fujita, is our table topics winner.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Ken. And I would like to bring control back to Elton, our Toastmaster. Elton?
Okay, thank you very much. And right off the bat, any of the club officers, do they have any type of club business or anything that they would like to announce at this time?
Nothing from me, Elton, on that. We still have our base camp outage happening. Hopefully we get news soon when that will be ending. And then we can all just dive right back into base camp and get caught up on things.
Yes. And for our guests, we've had several of them, and we would love to know exactly what you think. And we want to start. Where did he go? All righty. So as Andrew, what did can you give us a few thoughts about what you thought of the meeting?
Elton, why don't you ask a couple of people online? Karumi and Pranjal are here.
Okay, Kurumi. So
Yes,
what did you think of our meeting tonight?
thank you very much for having your meeting today. It was a fantastic meeting. What I found in your club is everybody care everybody. We are all learning something new, and we are learning how to help each other. You are exactly the good example of Toastmaster. I believe 100 years ago, the founder believed we are going to make it happen, and you did. Thank you very much. And as my advertising, I'm a vice president of education at Enriched Speakers, located in British Columbia. Because it's free online meeting, free online club. So any of you are interested in, please visit us. Wednesday, 4 o'clock afternoon in Toronto time. Thank you very much. Back to you.
Thank you very much for the invitation. It is much appreciated. Sunny?
Thanks, Elton. I enjoyed the meeting a lot, especially learning, so much more about, the club, the history. And as I mentioned, the most unfortunate thing is I'm neither young nor hip. So that's one, issue I'll have. But overall, I enjoyed the meeting a lot. Thank you.
I'd like to add a few words. So this is my first meeting where there are longer speeches, and I loved it. I loved the way Sunil, Andrew, and Kurumi especially adapted to the topics, and I found it really inspiring and relate to some of the issues that they have overcome. So thank you so much. I think it's muted. The library
Elton,
mic is
your
muted.
mic is you're muted. You're muted, Elton. Thanks, Pranjal. Nice words.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have two guests in the room, and we're going to start with a lovely lady, and definitely want to hear her thoughts.
Thank you, Elton. I came here for one reason and one reason only, to attend the 100th year anniversary of Toastmaster. Unfortunately, our club, because it's on Thursdays, I cannot attend the exact date. So I came here from work directly to the open house. Thank you for inviting me. I found the meeting very fascinating for two reasons. The first reason is, of course, the guest speaker, Sunit. Your speech gave me a whole different idea about how effective lying can be. And now, thanks to you, I'm going to continue with my journey, only lying to gain profit. I'm joking. But I found your speech very fascinating. I never heard such honest speech in my life. Usually there's an advice, it's positive, there's a life story, but your speech is straight to the point. Thank you for coming to share your experience. The second thing is how fascinating it is to articulate your story or your journey in Toastmaster. I'm talking about you, Yokta. You summarized your story, the whole 12 years or 13 years in Toastmaster, and I can see it through your eyes. Your eyes tells a story, and I can see the professionalism coming out of you. Talking about you as well as Frankie. Frankie may not realize that, but I see it in him. I see growth, and you guys are the reason why I continue Toastmaster. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And none other than Mr. Soft Speaker.
Hello everyone again. When I enter into this building, the moment I met Anvesh, he's wearing a signage here. It mentions 100 years. I had no idea what is that saying there, but I wanted to ask him after the club. But somehow I got to know that this is a 100 years anniversary. Wow, what an auspicious moment, guys! Seriously, I didn't realize that this is something happening today. I just accidentally, just 1 hour back, I see this event. I just came by here, so I really felt so happy and jubilant, I can say. uh, and the most often we can never make these kind of events outside, and the organization here it is happening, and the chips and the food and you guys maintain the chase, all the organization and the speakers here extraordinary good. I'm pretty sure I will attend these events much more. And the speaker Sunit, I'm not sure I can use the word dude here. Dude, that is the best policy I should follow. Lying and dishonesty, definitely this world requires now in this Kali Yuga, I would say. And second thing, our another speaker, Andrew, I'm pretty sure I was also trying to be another speaker to this club or probably another club also. But I really interested to become a Toastmaster soon. And thanks to Matthew, our Frankie, our directors, and Elton, all you people are really awesome. And I'm pretty sure I'll be enjoying more sessions with you guys. And have a good night to everyone.
Well, can't believe it. It seemed like it was just 6:15 and the meeting is now over. So I hope that everyone have a good evening and return next week. Our next meeting is going to be on the 12th, and it is going to be about nervous about your next speech. So come back to us and learn how not to be nervous and to be confident in giving your speech, even if it means that you have to lie a little. Good night.
Good night, everyone. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Good night,
Thank
everyone.
you. Bye.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Come back.